Announcing the commencement of the first purge.
I want you to change the world, and don't think that this is going to happen peacefully or you can do it alone. We need to kill the rich. You get out there, you use your weapons, and you rip Washington apart. You hunt down the billionaires, the bank bosses, the CEOs, the scumbags and the liars, the governors, the lobbyists, the senators, because they're all the same, and you hang them.
Just remember all the good the purge does.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is May 16th, 2018. I'm Eric. How y'all doing? I hope you are well. I'm here at the Free Thought Project. Killer Mike, Bill Maher call out gun control, hypocrisy. If Trump is Hitler, why give him all the guns? It made me smile so big to hear some fucking leftists come out and say that shit. Because it kicked a lot of people on their side right in the balls. And I like that. I like seeing people get kicked in their balls. It makes me happy. Alright. So, as the Free Thought Project reported in 2015, Run the Jewels co-founder Killer Mike is no fan of gun control. 3 years ago, he voiced his opinion about the Charleston shooting, saying that he wishes that members of the church were armed so that they could have prevented the shooting. Well, what a novel fucking idea that is. Although his comments drew criticism from many of his fans, he refused to back down, and this week he went on Bill Maher's show to make another powerful point about gun control. If you've ever watched Bill Maher, you know that he's nothing short of controversial. He's known for his strict liberal views and staunch support for the current administration. Here at the Free Thought Project, we understand that two-party system is little more than a boxing match in which both fighters are owned by Don King. If you don't know who Don King is, he's a fucking fighter manager. And oftentimes, the two people in the ring are managed by Don King. And as a result of that, one of them or another is forced to throw the match. So, that being said, there is much more ground to disagree on with Bill than there is to agree. However, in order to incite peaceful change, we give credit where credit is due. During a conversation with Killer Mike, Maher called out the leftist hypocrisy on gun control, noting how you can't be both against the establishment while at the same time advocating for advocating that only the establishment have guns. Oh, there's another novel idea. Logic. In quotes, one of the problems with gun people have with liberals talking about guns is that liberals don't know what they're talking about when they're talking about guns, Maher said. At all, Killer Mike replied. Maher and Mike then proceeded to point out that the left does not mention what happens during and after the government's attempts to remove guns from society. They also completely ignore the fact that criminals do not obey laws and make guns illegal will have zero effect on criminals possessing guns. Let me stop right there for a moment. The Second Amendment says nothing about crimes or criminals. If you want to be constitutional, then you have to admit that it says nothing about them kind of people not having guns. Everyone should have guns. Everyone. You know what? If a pedophile has a gun and you catch him screwing around with a kid, You kill him, he had a gun. And by the way, you should kill pedophiles. Yep, yep. You should strangle them, stab them, any way you can think of. Just end them. All of them. So, you know, Bill Maher and Killer Mike made the same points we do when we talk about guns. What happens to a society after being disarmed? Well, we can look at the Soviet Union, we can look at Mao's China, we can look at Australia, Britain, and so on, and you see how well that turned out for those people. Not very good at all. Ironically, those calling for taking the guns from citizens are oftentimes the ones most critical of police killings and the ones who refer to the current president as a tyrant. How exactly they rationalize disarming the citizens and having only police who kill far more people than gun owners and the tyrants to be the sole possessors of guns is a mystery, and Killer Mike, along with Maher, aptly call them out for it. It's about fucking time. You're saying to a population of people, Trump is a tyrant. You're living under tyrannical times. And you're comparing him to Adolf Hitler. When you say that to my community, I must take it seriously, says Mike. In quotes again, I've been saying for a long time Donald Trump is bringing fascism to this country. If you really believe that Donald Trump is an authoritarian leader capable of using force to suppress the opposition, I wonder if liberals are going to be rethinking their opinions about guns a little bit, Maher said. It's not just liberals who are way off on gun control either. Republicans have their own share of hypocrisy and cognitive dissonance. Indeed, Radley Balco sums up the mental gymnastics of both parties perfectly in regard to the distorted realities held as truth. We need guns to protect us from the government. Also, it is unpatriotic to second guess when armed government employees kill people. The government has a history of racism and oppression. Guns are instruments of death. Only government employees should have guns. In an interview with Reason magazine several years back, Killer Mike pointed out the necessity of citizens to be armed. In quotes, I do not worry about my gun being taken. I do worry about these roadblocks that are popping up for DUIs illegally. These checkpoints in my community, I worry about that. We're promised not to be treated like that domestically. We're promised that our police cannot act like the military does, but we have allowed not only military machines but military tactics. We're funding local municipalities with drug raids, Killer Mike told Reason. So, you know, maybe Killer Mike and Bill Maher saying this will get the heads out of the liberals' asses, you know, the ones that, oh, Trump is such a tyrant, but give them the guns. The police are so bad. Give them the guns. Fucking retards, man. I swear. Yeah. I have a little bit more respect for Bill Maher now. A little tiny bit. I didn't have any respect for him before, but now I do. A little bit. So, you know, hopefully this flip-flops some of these liberals, and hopefully the UN won't be on our streets, but I somehow doubt that is going to have any kind of impact. So while I'm here, and this is only 10 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and cover something else. If my computer cooperates with me, that is. Two more things. Actually, there's three more. Three more things. And I'm not going to read the whole articles. I'm going to waste your time. But some things you should be brought to your attention. The cop who cowered in fear as Parkland kids were murdered now receives $8.7 thousand per month pension. He shouldn't get that $8,000 a month, or closer to $9,000 really a month, because he was derelict in his duties. He allowed, if it even happened, he allowed it to happen. He should have went in there and been a man and fucking shot the real shooter, not Ted, or I said Ted Cruz, Nicholas Cruz. Cruz could not have been the shooter. Physically impossible. So, and by the way, the teacher did describe a cop dressed in full body armor, so he's probably the cops did it, or a cop. So, a video shows horrors of drug war as cops corner unarmed man for having a plant and execute him. You might want to reconsider getting caught with weed. And then lastly, being naked does not remove a threat, says Chief, as cops kill unarmed naked teacher. When the people are armed and killing other people, they cower. When they're unarmed and naked, they kill. Anyway, that's your police and your government for you. I say yours because I do not recognize them as being mine. I do not respect or like either one. So, anyway. And I know there's some pro-police people that watch me. That's your detriment, man. I'm not going to be pro-police, and I never will be. You worshiping the police, well, it will end up fucking you sometime or another. Till next time, people, kill the state and live free.